I'm Ted Keyes in Pasadena, California. Welcome to my Tuesday conference call, a free high-powered meeting I hold live every Tuesday for top producing freight agents. Go to tedkeysonline.com for complete call information. Then join us weekly to see new, serious, struggling, and experienced sales professionals move more freight efficiently, effectively, effortlessly, and make more money financially. So watch my recorded call topic highlighted there on your screen right now. When you're finished, go to tedkeysonline.com and hear more podcasts. Read more blog posts, watch more videos, and while you're there, visit my Freight Sales Success Store for top-notch freight moving products to explode your business today. Enjoy watching and applying my Tuesday conference call.
Again, welcome to my Tuesday conference call, where again every Tuesday we show you how to move more freight. Of course, you got to get on the calls to actually hear them, but either way, today I've got a very special guest today. His name is Dexter Levette. Dexter, you reside in Greensboro, North Carolina?
That is correct.
Okay, again, welcome to the call, Dexter. Appreciate having you today.
Thank you.
Awesome, Dexter. Dexter, you've been an LDI agent now for how long?
Got hired in December 13th of 2013, but I did not start really brokering with LDI to January 1st of 2014.
Okay. So actually, you've been with LDI for over a year now.
Yes, I have.
Okay. And I'm going to assume you had, how many years experience before you came to LDI?
Around 7.5.
7.5. Lot more than me, Dexter. So you are way ahead of the game.
It's all about having drive, really. That's the secret to all of this, really.
You are correct there. Give us a little insight, first of all, on your entry into this profession, Dexter. How did that happen? What caused you to become a freight professional or a freight agent?
Well, I guess you can say it was self-realization of where I was in life and where I wanted to try to be. Actually, it was, I know this kind of sounds a little hokey, but I have been a truck driver for 14 years. Been all over the country making deliveries for different companies, and basically I just wanted to come off the road and do something different, but also luckily enough something that had something to do with still trucking, because it was one thing I knew for so long. Luckily enough, I met a gentleman one day. He offered to train me to become a freight broker. We started making sales phone calls out of his house, and then we drew it, and we turned it into a $1 million company within 3 years of actually getting started. And that's when I was at BNSF Logistics. I was the top salesman there. I had one of the largest accounts there, a couple of large accounts. Me and the gentleman, we decided to part ways in December 2013, and I started with LDI 2014 and been here ever since.
Awesome. Now, when you, how do I put it, joined up with this gentleman, he was an agent for BNSF?
That is correct. That is correct. Okay. He had just recently, he had moved some tires for them in a pinch in a NASCAR situation, and they liked the way that he actually handled the situation. He actually owned his own trucking company, but he got out of his trucking company and got completely into full-time being a broker, and basically trained me and showed me the ropes.
How valuable is that experience being a driver first, Dexter?
Well, I think it gives you some knowledge on different things as far as terrain of the country, knowing the importance of appointment times and being on time for appointments, because a lot of people sometimes forget to make an appointment. But if you're that driver who's pulling up after driving for 2 days and nobody made an appointment for you, and then you have to sit overnight and the rest of your run is gone, it makes a big deal. So it gave me the chance to, as I teach people now, I like to let them know, you're not dealing with computers or robots like you're dealing with a computer screen or a program. You're actually dealing with human people. Well, not human people. That's kind of
human beings.
Yeah, human beings. I'm sorry about that.
No problem.
But, these people are not just a program or anything like that. When you hit enter and send out a confirmation, you are sending a soul somewhere into the middle of nowhere, and you should take enough time to appreciate that that's a soul in that truck going out there and possibly risking their life in bad weather or anything really, and all it takes is just making a phone call, make sure you can make an appointment for them.
So being a truck driver, for example, if I mention St. Louis, could you tell me 3 things about St. Louis?
Storms come up very fast. It's pretty cool going underneath the arch, and it's kind of flat. To me, it was when I passed through it.
What river is that that you cross from Illinois into Missouri?
I think that would be the Mississippi.
You are correct.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the values of having experience being a truck driver. The only thing is will you take that experience and turn it into a profession that's more profitable, which is actually brokering freight?
Oh, definitely, and I think that my history of being a truck driver is invaluable in my lessons today of being able to make sales phone calls, sell, and actually know exactly the type of service that customers are actually looking for. It's one thing to just learn something out of a book. It's another thing to actually bump a dock, go inside, get your bill signed, find a guy, wait till the actual goods have been counted and make sure nothing's damaged. If so, taking pictures of it, knowing how to handle a shift load, knowing what a shift load really is and what causes it. So yeah, it's kind of like if you are selling something but you're not the installer, where if you actually go out with the installer sometimes you'll know a little bit more about the product you're selling. So I did look out that I do have a good knowledge of the product I am selling.
Let's talk about when you made that exchange from driving to being a freight agent. How was that transition, say, your first week?
It was different because the way that we started, the gentleman that taught me gave me an address and told me to be at this address on Monday morning. So I always take any job I have been given very seriously. So, I dressed appropriately, shirt, tie, slacks, nice shoes, put the address in my GPS, followed it, and ended up at a condominium complex. And there started the confusion. So I knocked on the gentleman's door, and he came to the door, and I was just like, okay, so we're going to the office? He said, this is the office. And I was just like, well, he said, yeah, we're going to start it right here and build it from here. So it kind of intrigued me that, okay, I'm going to go in this guy's house. He's going to teach me in his bed, his living room, and from here we're going to grow a company out of it. And it actually worked. There's not too many industries you can get into these days for almost zero investment other than a laptop and your time, and actually turn into something that can make you hundreds of thousands of dollars every year, if not month, if you're really good at it.
I started in a garage, father-son combination. They had their operation going in their garage, so I can definitely relate to that. Let's talk about picking up the phone for the first time. How was that compared to driving for, was it 14 years
Yes.
prior to becoming an agent? Is that what you said? 14 years?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how'd it go picking up that phone for the first time?
It was interesting. I mean, luckily I'd already been a kind of a people person to begin with, and I love to talk, and so if nobody can tell that. So it was kind of a very easy transition for me to actually go into sales. I actually had some sales positions before, but never was successful enough in them for a long enough period of time to really consider myself a salesperson. But I always enjoyed the interaction of sales, or the interaction with other humans that sales gives you. After I basically took the sales strip and actually made it my own, got my own voice, and basically I found out that people want to buy from a real person. They don't want a strip. They don't want anything fake. They just want to know who you really are, and if you can actually sell yourself and be believable, you'll pull people in all the time.
Is persistence required?
Of course persistence is required. I mean, I look at sales calls as, like seed and field and then going back and recalling. Well, a farmer doesn't just plant his, seeds and then just come back 6 months later and hope that, everything took and grew the right way. No, you have to come back and you have to tend your field. So after you actually make the initial sales phone calls, calling back, saying hello, sending emails, just letting them know that you're still on their mind. Hey, is there anything I can do for you yet? Has anything opened up? Persistence is everything. It took me 1 year and 3 months to move my first Conoco Phillips load when I was with BNSF Logistics.
Hold on, Dexter. Do you have to get that?
No. I was going
okay. Please repeat what you just said, Dexter.
I said when I first moved a load for Conoco Phillips Petroleum when I was with BNSF, it took me 1 year and 3 months persistence to actually land that account. Used to talk to a guy by the name of Michael Gunn in Bartlesville, Oklahoma at the Conoco Phillips Petroleum plant there. I called him every Friday at 5 o'clock, and it was about 3 o'clock his time. By the time he gave me freight, I knew everything about the gentleman.
So just for this one customer now, we're not talking a small customer. We're talking a large customer, Dexter.
Exactly.
It took you 1 year and 3 months. Did I hear that correctly?
1 year and 3 months, exactly.
Okay. Now that's a large customer, Dexter. That's typically not what a beginning freight agent goes after. Let's talk about when you first started. At what point, after you started making phone calls, at what point could you say that you actually felt like, wow, I'm getting this? I'm moving enough freight now where I'm getting into a groove here. Can you remember at what point that was?
Yeah, I mean, once you see your paychecks go from, $100 a week to $300 a week, to all of a sudden they jump to $2,500, then they jump to $5,000, then they jump to $7,000, then they start jumping to $10,000, $13,000 a week. Then you're pulling down $25,000 a week. It's just like it's incredible.
Yeah, but like, you don't pull down 25 right away. You do that after several years. I mean, at what point? Like after 3 months, 6 months?
After probably about a year. I felt very, very comfortable about my sales ability. It took me about 6 months. I wasn't that fast on computers. I'm good on them now, but making the transition from being a truck driver to learning technology took me a minute to get comfortable with using the computer instead of a steering wheel and, switching gears. I had to get comfortable with sending emails, little things that you might take for granted. It has to be, were things that I had to learn how to do. But once I started understanding how all the systems work together, I always look at brokering kind of as like one of those truck commercials where the truck is exploded in like 10,000 little pieces, and then they slam it back together, and then it rolls off working. I think that's how brokering is. There's so many working pieces in this thing, from rating to making sure you got the right mileage, to talking to customers correctly, and presenting yourself and knowing your product that you're trying to sell and taking it seriously. But yeah, about a year
before you started thinking, I'm getting this. I'm making whatever it is you're making, but it took you a year.
Right, and actually when I pulled down a large paper company in Memphis, Tennessee called Buckeye Technologies, it's no longer there. It got brought up by Georgia Pacific, and well, they don't like brokers. But when I actually landed that one, it was that's when I kind of felt that I had said the right thing. I was talking to the lady that day, and we were talking, and she's just like, I called her up because I had talked to her a couple of times. It's like, what's wrong with you today? She's like, I'm just having a bad day. I said, well, the most beautiful woman in Memphis can't really be having that bad of a day. And she said, you know what? You just got the business. I was like, really? She's like, yep. I think I'm going to turn you on. And I started shipping freight with them, and just being real with people. From that, people like, that human touch, that real who you really are, and not all this there's 1,000 guys trying to sell freight to them, both with asset-based carriers and brokers like ourselves, but they want somebody that they can feel like they have something in common with. And once you pull that human nature in, put that in, and connect with them on a human level, it just opens up the doors of freight and also builds long-lasting friendships.
Did you learn that human factor right away? Or did that was that through the 1-year-long learning process, or are you still learning how to get better in that area, Dexter?
I think that's always learning, because every person you meet is a different personality.
There you go.
And you have to, over time, be a kind of a chameleon when you're talking to somebody on the phone and know exactly what they're looking for, even if they don't know what they're looking for. But they're looking for it in maybe the tone of your voice, maybe if you sound assured of your knowledgeability of the actual product or what they're trying to move. But yeah, it takes it's always another learning curve with this job. You never stop learning with brokering.
Can I do a little role playing with you?
Sure.
Okay. So you've called on me. I'm the shipping decision maker. I come back to you and say, we're real slow right now.
Well, I tell you, okay, well, you're real slow right now, but I would like for a chance. What time of the year does things start picking up for you? Around April, maybe May, sometime of that nature?
In July, or 6 months from now, let's say September.
Well, September is the 9th month, and that's a month that a lot of businesses start doing their end of year, getting ready for the end of year. Tell you what, how about this? How about I contact you in July, and maybe helping you out with moving some freight in July, maybe I can help you out with your end of year going a little bit smoother as far as your books being a little bit more right, and also maybe saving you some money on some of your freight charges.
Yeah, I can do that.
Right,
exactly. Let's go to a different objection.
Mm-hmm.
We only use asset-based carriers.
Well, when you use asset-based carriers, asset-based carriers are really no different than brokers. You really don't know the driver. You don't know who's really pulling your loads. Exactly what is your problem, or the thing that you feel is the problem with using asset-based, because technically you can give your loads to someone like Swift or JB Hunt, and the same problems that can occur as far as mechanical breakdown and unreliable drivers can happen at the same time as you're using the 3PL. But at least with a 3PL, unlike a actual asset base, if something goes wrong, we can find another truck, get it in there. You'll never know the problem even occurred.
Okay, good deal. Here's another one. Had a bad experience with an LDI agent.
Well, that LDI agent wasn't me. Obviously, you met somebody of a lesser caliber and a lesser seriousness about the job. But when you're dealing with me, I do assure you that anything that you give me, anything that you want me to rate, anything that you want me to move, trust me, that will be taken seriously, as the freight is mine, because why it's in my care, it is mine. I'm trying to do a very good job for you so you can talk more about me and also expand business with you.
I'm already working with LDI.
Oh, well, if you're already working with LDI, thank you very much for your continued business, and we'll talk another time.
I wouldn't say that. I'd say, who are you working with?
Well, you got me on one. I've learned a long time ago not to step on other agents' feet or other, and because then you get the little phone call. So why were you talking to Frito-Lay today? Didn't know that was your account, man. Sorry, So, and my thing is, to me, I always backed off with that, because I did that live BNSF, because I called so much. I was bumping to other people's accounts all the time, and I just got tired of my boss getting yelled at, and me getting yelled at by corporate. So I just have this thing. Well, if somebody's already in it, I'll just back off, because I feel there's a lot more business out there. I mean, it's a plethora. If somebody says they don't have a customer, I can't find a customer, I don't know. You're not trying. You're just
wait, Dexter. Wait. Repeat what you just said.
All right, there's a plethora, a literal plethora of business out here. If you do not have a customer, it is because you are simply not trying hard enough. It is just that you have not put enough time, but don't take the job seriously enough, or don't believe in it enough to make it work for you. This is like a well-oiled machine. It's like a gym. You get out of this what you put into it, but you can have the perfect body in the gym, and you can have the perfect life if you learn how to broker.
Is part of that making constant contact with the marketplace?
Yes, definitely. The marketplace is always changing. I mean, even though I'm an office manager and I have people making sales calls for me, I make sales calls all the time just because I don't want to miss out on market changes and knowing what's new. I like to be able to tell my employees, you know, you might want to look at this because it can affect this over here and this can affect this over here. You have to keep up with all types of things, from world news to, you know, the Arctic is actually warming, so the jet stream is causing more snow to fall down. You have to know a little bit of everything. You know, you have to know when you need freeze protection. You know, you might be able to rate something, but are you checking the weather forecast for the destination and making sure that the carriers has everything, or using the right carrier for everything that you need? You know, it's one of those things, just like taking your job to just the next level and being serious about being a professional.
How would you, now you were with BNSF for 6 years, 5 years?
6 years, actually.
How would you compare their system to LDI's system?
The one thing I liked about the one thing that I did like about the BNSF system, it never trashed. It never trashed. It was kind of a Linux type based system. Also, you could go on the system and actually see who else had done anything to the load. So any load entries into the actual system was actually always mapped. So if anybody came in and booked the load or changed the date or time, they'll let you know who the person was and actually the date and time that it happened. Did like that.
Okay. Okay. On the plus side?
On the plus side, as far as LDI system compared to BNSF's?
Correct.
Oh man, just the technology is it's far more advanced. The user friendliness of it, I mean, you know, it would take people weeks, if not a month sometime, to learn how to actually build just even a load in the BNSF system. With LDI, I can get someone in here on 1 day of intensive training. I have them building loads in 6 minutes. Seen it too many times, so I can definitely say the LDI system is a lot more user friendly, and I think it's basically because it's window based, and so many people are used to using Windows already that it kind of comes kind of naturally. Okay. It doesn't feel as foreign, even though it is foreign.
Okay. Okay. Let's go back to when Dexter was just beginning again. So let me just in review. You feel that after a year that you felt like you were getting this. Okay? Now I'm going to assume that after a year your paychecks were in the, you know, the low four figures.
That is correct.
Okay. Okay. If you're talking to one of your agents and they're just coming in and they're frustrated, gee, why is stuff not happening, and they've only been there a month or two, what do you tell them, Dexter?
Well, I try to be as you know, polite as possible, soft as possible, but kind of stern, and let them know, you know, okay, well, you might want to adjust the way that you're calling. They will say, well, what are you talking about? So, well, you come in here, you do your research here at work. You look up one company, then you make a sales phone call. You call another company, you get off that, you go back on the internet, you look for the next company, you call. That's taking a lot of time up. Why don't
yeah, but I called one guy last week. Isn't that enough?
No, you should be making between 15 and 20 calls a day. And what you should do, if you're really serious about your job, is go home at nighttime instead of watching Family Feud, is actually going to make you a list of customers to call the next day on the spreadsheet, so you don't have to ever put down the phone. So you have to figure out how many phone calls you need a day to actually produce the type of actual customer retention that you want. I mean, if you're calling 100 customers in a month and you hope that you get at least 10 to 5% 95% retention, you have to actually work for it. So I try to just give them better tips about maybe how to find customers or how to be a little bit more effective on the phone, just utilizing their time. I like to say, if you're not booking a load, you need to be calling a customer. If you're not calling a customer, then you should be booking a load. But in all honesty, you should be doing something every day. Your time is worth something. If you come in here and you look at MSN or YouTube or what Kanye West and Kim Kardashian are doing later, well, they've got their money. What about you?
This is all about connecting and building relationships with the marketplace.
Definitely.
It's not with Kanye and Kim?
No, not at all. Not in the least. I mean, I recently had an agent that she was off focused. Little office romance happened, and then it went sour, and she was off focus for 5 months. Finally, once that was done, her first week got into about 4 large companies, and actually tomorrow we're going to be going on a sales call. I'm just like, look what you did in 1 week. Imagine if you would have been focused for the last 5 months where you might be right now. He did all this in 1 week. So basically, the biggest problem with most people is most salespeople, most people in life are in their own way. When you learn how to get out of your own way, you'll find your success. But it's hard sometimes for people to move themselves out of their way. Being lazy, not taking that extra step. Brokering is always about going the extra 2 or 3 steps. That's what makes you a great broker. That's what secures business for you. That would make sure you don't get chargebacks too. Taking that 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 extra steps. It's very important.
Focus.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on when a truck calls on your load. What are they saying? What's their callback number? Is this a backhaul? There's so many things that there are infinite things to focus on, especially when you're making a sales call.
Right. My favorite is when somebody books a load and they make a really large profit on it, and they're just like, I just booked that load, I made $2,000 profit. Oh my God, yeah. And you're like, what's the MC number for the guy?
Safety not approved.
You better say, yeah, exactly. Safety not approved, where you forgot the MC number, can't find the person in the call log, and the person doesn't call back.
Right.
It's just like those little things. I try to put in protocols here in my office as far as, once you get a load, the first thing you do, you call the origin and the destination to see if what the pickup and delivery times are, and if actual appointment needs to be made at either the pickup or actually the destination. And let me tell you, it sounds simple, but that's the biggest headache I run into. And it's just like, no matter how many times you tell the person to do that or put it in black, they still forget to do it. And then they come and it's like, I don't know what to do. Well, if you would have stuck to protocol, we wouldn't be having this talk right now. But everybody does at least once.
Absolutely. Well, in the beginning, we're all messed up. We're wrought with bad habits, bad thoughts. Let's face it, Dexter. We all have to change to become successful in any profession.
Well, the thing is, most people aren't used. Unfortunately, the society has become instantaneous. I put my money in the machine, I want my soda. I put the gas in my tank, I want it to pump in 5 minutes. This is a career. It is not instantaneous. It's not overnight. You will suffer. There will be ups. There will be downs. There will be times when you doubt yourself.
No magic potion? No magic potion? No magic formula, Dexter?
No. Drive, not stopping, not giving up. Drive is the only secret to this job. The people who have no drive will fall to the wayside and die on the side of the road, and the strong will keep on walking down the road to financial success and fortune. I see it all the time. I'd rather have 4 people in my office who are serious about making money than 15 people who are just trying to find somewhere to hang out, and I will fire them very fast when I see that. It's like a cancer.
Absolutely. Awesome information, Dexter. Can we get in a little Q&A?
Sure.
Okay, awesome. All right, so who has got the first question for Dexter? Boy, I bet that there's a whole line of people waiting to get in here, but who's first? Hit star 6. Who's got the first question for Dexter?
I that boring?
Hey, you had my attention, Dexter. Give us a little more insight on breaking what's required to get over that initial wall. Get over that initial wall. Well, actually, the thing to get over that initial wall is to pick up the phone repeatedly, constantly, and make connection with the marketplace. The more you do that, the better you get at it. It's just like anything else. Do you play sports, Dexter?
I work out at the gym a lot, and that's where I like to go to get rid of my tension and stuff.
Awesome. How about in high school?
In high school, I was a little bit of a sickly kid, so I didn't get to play a lot of sports, but after I went to the military, I got a little bit better with that.
Awesome. Okay. Who's got the first question for Dexter? Hit star 6.
Hello, good afternoon. This is Nissim in Seattle, California.
Nassim calling from California, Dexter. Welcome, Nassim.
Thank you. Dexter, thank you so much for sharing, and it is really, really inspiring. My question is, what gives you the drive, or what is the thing that you would say, yeah, this is what drives me and motivates me?
What's your why, Dexter?
My why was that I was 37 years old. I looked at my life, and I figured out that, I needed something to get me where I needed to be fast. I didn't have time to go back to college and do a 4-year degree and then come out battling children younger than me with probably more pep in their step and who were going to work for far less than what I needed. I also wanted to stop taking orders from people. I wanted to be finally the person who made the destination for my own life, to be totally in control, to know what it's like not to have to worry and wake up and go to work and actually have to ask another man if I could have 2 days off. I mean, there's some people that never know that freedom. I wanted my life. I wanted something for myself. So that's what made me push it, and I still push every day because I love that freedom. I love getting up and looking at my fiance and say, hey, want to go to Cozumel, Mexico? Sure, let's just go. Well, you'll have to call and take over.
So Dexter, it wasn't going to happen earning 40 cents a mile?
No, it was actually 36 cents. Thank you very much.
36? 36 as an owner-operator?
No, as a just driver for another company.
Gotcha.
No,
Gotcha.
I didn't want people to have my future in their hands anymore, because why would somebody make you richer than them? It makes no sense.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Who's next? Hit star 6. Next question for Dexter. Nassim, great question. Great question.
Thank you, sir.
Guys, go ahead.
Hello? I wanted to ask, what made you transition from being an agent to, basically putting you in a position where you had agency yourself?
This is George from Pittsburgh, Dexter.
Well, actually, George, was a necessity. For some reason, I was my company's top agent back at BNSF Logistics. I had a large company named Syngenta Crop Protection, which I was moving and making googles of money with. For some reason, I fell out of favor with my boss, maybe because I stole some of the limelight, I don't know. He terminated me, and so basically I was thrown off the boat. And to go from a 6-figure income back to zero was not acceptable in my book. So I had 2 choices. I could either crawl back inside of a truck and start driving, which I knew I didn't want to, or I could man up and wipe my tears off, dust myself off, and go and find a new job and build myself back up. And so that's what I chose to do, and I did it.
At what point, Dexter, do you go from working by yourself to bringing in people?
There's music.
Dexter, I'm gonna mute everybody out here, then come back on and hit star 6, okay?
Okay.
Are you there, Dexter?
Yeah, I'm here, yes. There's still music, though.
Go ahead. ahead and hit *6 and come back on, Dexter. Hit *6, come back on, Dexter. Dexter, hit *6 and come back on. Maria, can you hear me? Anybody out there?
I'm out here, Ted.
I'm out here, Connie.
I'm going to hit *6 again to mute everybody out.
This is Dexter. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I heard you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yep, I got you.
All right. I was just about to try to send you a email.
I don't know where Ted went, but
Yes, that's weird, isn't it?
yeah.
Can you hear me, guys? Hello, hello. You can hear me? Guys, are you there? To come back on, hit *6, guys. Dexter, hit *6. Can you hear me say that? Anybody there? Guys, hit *6. Dexter, hit *6 to come back on.
Okay.
Ted,
Guys,
can
are
you
you
hear
there?
me?
Hello?
Are you
Can
there,
you hear,
guys?
can you hear me? Hello?
Hello?
Now we got you.
I can
Okay.
hear you.
Dexter?
Yeah, can you hear me? This is Dexter.
All right. I hate it when people are so disrespectful when they do that. But anyway, it screws everything up. But anyway, Dexter,
Yes, I'm still here.
at what point do you go from yourself to building a team?
Well, as you see yourself expanding, Mike Canistra said something to me that, and him and Evan both said something to me when I visited headquarters, fire fast and hire slow. You need to not just take the first person that comes off the street who says that. You really have to try to look at a person and see if they really seem like they're going to be a good fit to work with, because you're working with these people very closely every day in and out. So I guess you can see as the loads start getting a little bit more busier and there's higher load volume, it's always good to have one. I think the good start is always at least 3 people, because you never know when one person is going to be out for work, somebody's going to be sick, but if you have 3 people who really know exactly what each 3 of them are doing, that's good. And then as you start adding on more customers and the person feels like they're starting to get pushed, or I always look for mistakes being made. If I start seeing a lot of mistakes being made, that means that the person who's moving the freight is starting to get stressed out, so maybe it's time to bring somebody else on to take the load off of them, and then that allows them to actually be more comfortable and still start expanding even more.
Awesome. Okay. Actually, it's a feel. If you want to do everything by yourself, if you basically want to do everything by yourself, you'll grow to a certain point, but you're not going to get past that point, because you only have so much energy, so much energy that you can expend in a day. Okay, guys, who's got the next question for Dexter? I'm assuming we're all unmuted. If
Yep,
not,
we're
hit
all
star 6.
Hey,
Did you find-
Dexter.
Yeah, hey, this is Dexter.
Go ahead, Tom.
All right. Well, I was just going to check. Do you find it easier to hire outside, or would you rather have family working for you?
Well, in all honesty, I'd rather have people outside. I think that when you have family working for you, if it's not a perfect mixture, you and the person in charge are going to have problems, because you have to understand, when a family member has a problem with you or someone you're in a relationship with, they're going to come at you a lot differently than an actual employee who does not have that extra amount of personal connection with you comes at you. So I've always found it that it's better, and if, how can I put it, if a family member or someone you're close to disrespects you in front of other employees or sub-agents, then vicariously they start thinking that they can do it too. So to nip that in the bud, I kind of like to not work with family.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Next question for Dexter. Who's got the next one? We're talking about a gentleman here that's moved, who's been in the industry a lot longer than I have, so I would take advantage of the situation. Who's got the next question for Dexter?
I do. Ted, can you hear me?
Go right ahead.
Hey, Dexter, this is Ben. I'm fairly new at this. I think I'm coming into my 3rd month here. But just out of curiosity, I know Ted had asked earlier, how long it took you to where you actually felt like you had a grasp on this industry. I want to take it back to, what was your time frame as far as when you were consistently starting to move loads, starting to get the ball actually rolling?
The question most people ask me is, when did I get my first customer? It took me 6 months. It took me 6 months of sitting in a corner, figuring out things, making cold calls, calling back, 6 months. And then on the second load, I did something wrong and lost the customer. So it was like a quick catch and release type of thing, but I learned from it. And I made sure I didn't make those mistakes the second time. And so I learned from my mistakes, and then I started getting more customer retention. When you start out in this business, you're kind of like with a shotgun. You're just blasting and hoping the pellets hit something, but the better you get at this, you start becoming a sniper, and you know exactly what's going to happen or how it's going to turn out when you actually pull the trigger.
Okay.
So, Dexter, are you saying that you've got to stay in the game? You've actually got to be persistent and determined and stay in the game to see where, the success actually starts happening?
Well, yeah, that's generally the game of life. Yeah, I mean,
yes, it is.
Yeah,
Actually, go ahead.
Really, none of this stuff is rocket science. I mean, you're gonna get out of it what you put into it. The problem is, a lot of people start not taking it seriously. They get discouraged very fastly. Money gets tight. Can't pay your insurance. Lights might get turned off. I've heard it all. Car's gonna get repoed. I'm just like, you know what? Then you need to try. Then if you really are serious about all these problems, then maybe you need to be on the phone a lot harder. But those people always the same. Those same ones that are always complaining about this isn't working are the same ones that you see goofing off the most. They're the same ones that are watching the video on YouTube. They're the same one on Facebook when you walk by their desk. They're the same one taking the 15-minute smoke break talking about what happened over the weekend. There's reasons you're not making any money. I have on my boards that if your business isn't making you any money, then you need to ask yourself why.
We're trying to get it through the insurance system.
Excellent. Actually, Dexter did say earlier, Ben, that he felt comfortable after a year.
Right.
He felt like after a year, okay, I'm going to make it. I can say I felt that way a lot sooner, but
Yeah.
I think I've got you by a few years, Dexter. I've got a little more business experience, but it took me about 6 months before I thought, okay, I'm making it. I'm making it on $200 a week. Of course, that was just the start. That was just the start.
Right.
But
all right, sounds good.
Excellent
Thanks,
question, Ben. Great question. Who's got the next question for Dexter? Who's got the next question for Dexter?
Nobody has any questions of self-doubt? Please, people, ask me anything.
I'm not gonna beg you guys. If I don't hear something in the next 30 seconds, we're gonna have to. Yes, fire away.
Hello. This is Ash. Hi guys. Hi Dexter. First of all, thank you very much.
Dexter, this is Ash from Brazil.
Hi, Ash.
Hey buddy, how you doing?
I'm fine,
I'm new
sir.
to this.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. This is my third or fourth week at this, so complete newbie. I don't have the experience that you have, also being a driver previously. But I'm finding that one of the things that you said is stay away from a script, just be yourself, and just have fun with the customer as well, but at the same time professional. I'm finding that also is actually my way, and it works really well. But what I'm finding a little bit difficult is kind of going through the companies and identifying the right companies to call. It's like I'm making maybe 25, 30, 40 phone calls a day, but I feel that I could do better at targeting the companies that I'm calling. And I'm just wondering if there's some advice that you could give on that.
Which companies are the best ones to call, Dexter?
The ones you never heard of? I mean, seriously, don't run and try to call Walmart. Don't run and try to call Amazon. Don't run and try to call Kohl's or Lowe's or Food Line or Kmart or Sears. Don't call anybody you've ever heard of. Actually, you have to sometimes check out a manufacturing field like paper bag manufacturers or paper processing manufacturers or shampoo. Sometimes you have to just find yourself a niche. When I first started out, I started in paper. I found out that paper seemed to be very receptive to actually moving stuff, be it cardboard, paper plates, rolls of paper, what have you. Then from there I moved into chemicals. A little bit harder, but the money was definitely interesting. I mean, most tanker loads you're going to at least make between $550 to $600 profit out of. So I then got my education in tanker freight and how to move tanker freight. I was moving wood for customers. Actually, a good resource that I actually use, if you want to take it down, is called the End User Directory, EN and then USER and then directory. You pull that up and you just put in the name of any state and it pulls up all the manufacturing for that complete state. Highlight it and it takes you to industries you never would even think of yourself.
End User Directory.
It'll say McElvain on it. MC Elvain. You'll notice it. But yeah,
McElvain.
Right, but yeah, exactly. You put in the state, any state in the union, and all the manufacturing for that state will come up, and you just call.
Cool. Because let's face it, Dexter, not every company you call makes the shipping decision.
No, there's a lot of places that are customer routed.
Actually, half the ones you're going to call make the shipping decision. Because there's only, when you have one load picking up here and going to there, there's a high probability that only one of those shipper or receiver was the decision maker.
Exactly.
So every phone call you make, there's a probability that only 50% of them make the shipping decision.
Exactly. And I see a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm going to research this company. It made $5 billion last quarter." Blah, 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 blah. Well, that's not going to do anything good. You spent 5 or 15 minutes researching a company that's not going to give you any business. That 5 or 15 minutes that you were spending researching a company, you could have actually made 5 or 6 more telephone calls on cold calls and might actually hit somebody that didn't want to ship with you.
Yeah, when it comes to research, I just get one page, Google one page. That's all you need. What do they make? Where are they located? Just something that you can go into the call with. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the sales are. What matters is you connecting with the shipping decision maker.
Right. And now, if you're actually going on you going and get into a company and they like you and you like them and they actually want to meet you, or do you great good to do research on the company before you step in their doors? It always impresses them if you sit down and tell when they were founded and the beliefs and things of that nature. And a little research always, when we got in and landed the company that we're working for right now, I did some research and found that they did things on platforms. Mm-hmm. And it impressed them once I sat down and told them a little bit about their managerial structure. I think it helped us out. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That's down the road, but boy, great insight there, Dexter. Who's got the last question for Dexter today? Who's got the last question for Dexter today? Hey, Dexter.
Yes, sir.
You have been a bookload and a boatload of information today. I am very impressed. I am so blessed that you agreed to come on our call today. Any last thing that you want to add, just to send our listeners off, that will get them to pick up the phone and connect with the marketplace?
Well, here it is. This is the
let's talk about self-doubt. Go ahead.
Self-doubt, that's all personal. I don't really have that much. I kind of know that if I put my mind to it, I'm going to do it. But for you new people who are starting, for you people who have been doing this for some years, never forget that you have been given a gift to know to know anything about brokering. Brokering, when done right, can change your life. If you don't have a hook shot and you weren't born into money, it is maybe one of the last facets that I've actually seen that can actually turn someone from rags to riches. A lot of people in this world go through their whole life hoping that they come up to the gold chest, and people never even get a chance. The closest they get to the gold chest is a lottery ticket. This job brings you right up to the chest that you have been looking for your whole life, but you just have to have enough strength to reach up and turn the key and open up the chest. And a lot of people wear themselves out right in front of the chest and then walk away from it. Dumbest thing I've ever seen. If you're here, make a commitment. Even make a commitment to this job and really stick with it. If you're not going to make a commitment with it, then you're wasting your time. Go back and get a job and do what you want to do, or whatever it was you were doing before. But if you're in this, you have to be in this to win it. You cannot ever sleep on. If you're not up at night wondering about how to increase your sales or what to do the next day, then it becomes like a religion to you. To me, it has anyway, and I know that every day I have to come in here and push myself just that much more.
Awesome words, Dexter. Thank you so much for joining us, Dexter. Just real quick announcement here, guys. Any questions involving our top-notch, top-of-the-line freight system, to call the office here. Ask for Maria or Marilyn, 626-309-9141. Any questions involving the topics we went over today? If you require some motivation or anything along those lines, some inspiration or some guidance on moving more freight, I'm the guy to talk to, 626-309-9141. Dexter, thank you again. You've been a jewel of information today. Really, really appreciate having you on the call today.
Thank you very much, and appreciate it. Y'all have a good day.
Okay, take care, everybody. God bless. We will talk to you all in the very near future.
You've just taken a tremendous step forward by watching and applying my Tuesday conference call highlight. Do you desire to earn and learn with our top freight team and Christian-based office? Yes? We're searching for a self-starter who's serious, motivated, and ready to take action right now. Is that you? Go to tedkeysonline.com/contacts and enter your contact details. We provide top-notch freight agent sales training to you. Then you deliver those same skills with confidence to the freight industry marketplace. I'll talk to you soon.